Alrighty, the first segment of this bargain video is this Reindeer. We picked it up at Radio Shack for $1, and I'm giving you an action shot so you can see what it does. Also, because probably before I post this video, it's going to go to work with my wife, who wants to put it near her desk. It has a little bit of a decoration. She currently has a snowman that changes color, and she wants to swap that out. But we picked it up for it was like $1, I think, on sale after Christmas. But I thought it was pretty cool. I liked my wife's Reindeer so much, I went back to Radio Shack and I picked myself up a snowflake. So I need to find a place to put it in my office at the moment. It's in the kitchen. I need to find a USB port. I don't know if I have any empty ones at the moment, but I thought it was pretty cool. And again, wicked cheap. On to the books! Unfortunately, I was bad. I acquired a number of books. A couple of these are references, so I'm not feeling too bad about that, because I don't mind collecting reference books if they're useful to me. But I get rid of reference books that aren't. But I have picked up a couple of books I'm going to read and that I will donate, which makes me feel a little guilty, because I've been trying not to do that, but that's life. First we have is something called the Mind Pack, an interactive guide to expanding your thinking skills with games and puzzles and exercises from DK. And this is a pack of, this contains 3 different decks of cards and a book that goes with them. My wife wanted this. I think she's trying to kind of break out of certain conceptual thought processes, and she thought this might help, and it was at a thrift stop. Here we have the After Earth, the United Rangers Corps Survival Manual. There will be an upcoming review on this book and on this film. I didn't like the film at all. It's pretty, but that's about it. However, this is ridiculously overproduced, and it's a really interesting book. Next we have City, a story of Roman planning and construction by David Macaulay, which is an incredibly good book. This is a library covering. In fact, it's got a heavy-duty cover and such, and it's got where it used to have a library card on the inside. And I bought this specifically to give to a friend's son. Next we have a book on Easter Island, which my wife has a great affection for the Easter Island heads. She has a plushie of the head, and we just recently picked up a set of small memorial figures because it contained an Easter Island head. Next we have The Germans by Gordon A. Craig. Now I think I actually have a copy of this, which I will be getting rid of, because this is really nice book. The quality of this book, this cover is just beautiful. So I'm probably going to get rid of that copy and keep this one. The Garden of Beasts, Love, Terror, and an American Family in Hitler's Berlin. And this is by the same author that did The Devil in the White City, which is an incredibly good book, and I recommend it. So I'll be reading that and then passing it on. Next we have Words of the Dragon, interviews from 1958 to 1973 with Bruce Lee. And I have an affection for Bruce Lee. I thought he was an interesting guy, and I'm sorry that we lost him so early. Next we have a book that has no slipcover. It is The Art of W.C. Fields by Everson. Now what intrigued me, well, I have an affection for W.C. Fields, but I opened this up, and there's a dedication here, but it says $150 right here, in the kind of notation that you see in books being sold in bookshops. Now even if this had a cover, there's not like an autograph in it, so there's no reason for this to be considered worth $150. I checked online, it's worth about $3. So that fascinated me. But I'll read it and then I'll pass it on. Probably give it to my father, he'll probably find it interesting. Next we have a small digest version of a Thor Comics, Thor Avenger. I'll read that and I'll pass it on. I got a coworker that's into comics, or I'll just give it back to the same thrift shop I bought it from when it cost me $1. Next off, DVDs. Alright. Now we have DVDs. First we have the Black Cobra series with Fred Williamson. I've never actually seen these films. There's 3 movies in here: Black Cobra 2, and Black Cobra 3, Manila Connection. It's from the era of blaxploitation. I've never seen them. I thought I'd give it a try. They were cheap. Then we have the Mask of Zorro. I have one other Zorro from this film, from this series. Really have to figure out which order they come in and start watching them, because they're quite entertaining. Next we have the original Star Trek film, The Final Frontier Special Edition, Collector's Edition. I have not the original, but for the Final Frontier. I've never seen this. I haven't seen this since it came out, I don't think. And this has got commentary in it, so that would be cool. Next we have Rock Hudson and Doris Day Pillow Talk. Stargate Atlantis Rising. I didn't really get into the Stargate television series. I knew it was decent quality, and I caught a couple of episodes, but I have a fascination with Atlantis, so I thought I'd pick that up and see it. Next we have The Man with the Iron Fist, the unrated version. I've never seen this. I saw it, the trailer, when it was before it was released, but after that it like fell off my radar. And I found a copy for $2. Next we have Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1. Now I already owned Part 2 with the single disc version, and I picked it up for $2.50. This one cost me $13, more than I normally pay for a DVD, but I really wanted to see it, and I refused to watch the second half until I watched the first half. And so for me, I paid about $7.50 a piece, so that's a pretty good deal. And I've done a video on this, which will be coming out in the near future, about my thoughts on the Batman The Dark Knight Returns film. Next we have Thunderball with Sean Connery. He has a commentary track. I'm looking forward to that, and I cannot remember the last time I actually saw this movie. I don't remember. I think I caught it on television many years ago. Next we have Thunderbirds Are Go, which is I think it's a feature-length film version, which is probably just a bunch of the episodes tacked together. But I haven't watched one of those in ages, and it's got commentary, and I picked it up for $3. The World's End, which my wife and I watched just yesterday, and it was good, funny. I have a problem with the ending, but then I have a problem with many films that have endings, that have similar themes that had the ending of this film. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. But I enjoyed it, and I definitely, if you liked the first two parts in this series, Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, definitely this is a must-see. And then we have Chrysalis, Some Memories Can Never Be Forgotten, which is apparently a French cyberpunk film. Never heard of it. I just found it at a DVD store, a pawn shop, so I thought I'd pick it up. Next we have Starship Troopers 3, which I'm sure is horrible. Can't wait. We have The Lawnmower Man with commentary track, and I haven't seen this since it was on my premium channels, like HBO or something I watched 20 years ago or something like that. But it's got commentary track, so I'm going to watch it. And Batman, The Brave and the Bold, another episode of this. I've got another disc already, which I've watched some of them. My wife found them humorous and absurd, and I kind of like the kind of take they have on the whole DC universe in these, and it's very kind of kid-friendly version. It made me smile. All right, here we have some soft goods and some tools. We have this is a pillow that you fold into a triangular shape. It unzips until it's flat. My wife wanted to try it out for lumbar support, apparently. We got it for sale at Brookstone in their post-Christmas sale. I got some socks for Christmas, which I haven't even had a chance to take out and wash yet. Somebody gave me a pair of Dockers. They got a pair of Dockers. They didn't want them as a Christmas gift, so they gave them to me. So there you have it. These are a 36-30. They're a little on the loose side, not much, but they fit me. I am a weird size. Like I'm a 35, I think, so it's hard to find pants that fit perfectly. I usually get a 36 and just tighten my belt up. Here I found a duo fold thermal top. I've been into long sleeve solid colors recently. I'm not sure why, but this is it's a wool mix. Here we have a very variegated colored, goes from one shade of green to the other. It's a tank top my wife got, and it's actually made out of wool, and she's really a big fan of wool. So there you go. Here we have some hats and scarves. My mother made both my wife and I a set of hat and scarves for Christmas. This is my hat and my scarf, and my wife's hat and my wife's scarf. She got a pom-pom. I didn't want one. She actually asked us, and she made the pom-pom right there on Christmas Day because it doesn't take her long to make a pom-pom. But yes, she knit these for us. Next, I picked up a cheap LED flashlight headlamp. This was $3 at Tractor Supply, and I picked it up specifically because I wanted to try it out. See what does a $3 headlight look like, and I'm going to pass it on to somebody else. I'm not going to keep it. I just want to see how it works. I buy cheap things or tools sometimes I buy just for my reviews, and I never actually use them or I give them away. Next we have a stainless steel tray, which a medical tray, which was U.S. Navy surplus. I picked it up for $3. I'm going to use it as a parts tray. But it's really nice quality. It really is. I'm quite impressed. I picked it up at an antique shop. And then we have a fro mallet. Now this is a mallet. It's round, and it's designed for using a fro for splitting wood. But you could also use it for driving pegs and things like that. And I really like the look, and it has a really nice balance to it. I mean, it's balanced. It's heavy, top heavy, but it's supposed to be top heavy. But really quite well done, and it's really in decent shape. I quite like the overall look. It's got a couple splits in it, but it's old, and I'll still use this thing as a tool. I'm not going to just let it sit there. But it was only $10, so I'm like, yeah, I definitely gotta try this out. Though I'm probably going to give it a treat with some mineral oil, try to forestall any future splitting if I can. So next up, more stuff. I forgot this thing. I got this for free. I found it while taking a walk. It's used to screw something and hold it in the ground. I'm not sure what it's supposed to hold in the ground. It's designed to hold something that's square or rectangular. But I found it, and it's in great shape, so I'll find a use for it. I'll find it to throw it in the garage, and eventually I'll figure out what I want to do with it. If anybody knows what this was designed to use for, tell me. It'd be cool. And here we come to the miscellaneous and art section. So a friend of mine sent me some story dice. Now I've done a video on Rory's story dice, which are 6-sided. These are a collection of multi-sided, so it's like 6, 8, 10, and 12, and 20-sided dice. So it's more like actual gaming dice that have actual pictures on them that help you come up with story ideas. So I will do a full review on those at some point. Next, I have picked up this at an antique shop. It is from Bali's Casino. I don't know if it's actually still open, but it's one of their actual dice turned into a key fob. Next, I picked up something called the Oracle of 8. Now, the directions in this, which I happen to have upside down, I apologize, are in a scroll. And you roll these 3 dice, which are very large. You can see in my hand, they're quite large. Even compared to a casino die, they're big dice. And you roll them, and then you roll them one at a time, and you come up with an order, and then you look up the prophecy on the scroll, and it actually all rolls out as a scroll-like. And I think these actually are kind of fun, but they also, I think, could be useful for developing player characters or non-player characters for role-playing games. So I'll be talking about those in a video as well. Next we have manatees, and in one case this is called an actual manatee, but T-E-A, because this thing splits here. You put loose tea inside this, and you sit it on your cup, and it infuses the water with your tea. So it's called a manatee. And then I bought this manatee at an antique shop. It's made of hardwood. It's an ironwood, probably out of Africa. And I thought it was quite charming. And I have a fondness for manatees. Don't want to break my manatee. Next we have a button that my wife got. I think this looks Greek to me. Anybody else think that looked Greek to them? I get a feeling that I've seen that image somewhere before. I just can't remember where. But then she'll have to find something to put this on, something special. Maybe a bag or something, or an accent piece or something. But it's kind of cool. And I got my wife a bell, which has a harp on it, which makes me think it is a tourist piece, like your Irish tourist piece. It has a really nice tone. I picked it up for $5 at a pawn shop. Next we have 2 bowls. These are made in Japan. That a friend of mine gave me as a gift for Christmas, because she liked the patterns. I have a vase here, or a vase, depends how you want to say it. And this, to me, actually looks like it may have been done by a professional, because the signature says professional to me, and it's also very evenly done. That top is not easy to get done properly, and they did a good job of it. And I don't know if I'll be keeping this or giving it away as a gift, because it is quite nice. If I can just figure out if I can figure out whose signature that is. It's really not easy to read, but it's got the look of someone that does this a lot. And that is the kind of thing that you see in a professional piece. So I got to figure out how to do that one. I have a little bag of figures I picked up. Here's Mr. Freeze from the Fisher Price line. It's also got all these little weird alien figures. And so I'm like, it was $2. I'm like, I got to figure out what these things are. So I'll be doing a video about those at some point. Next, my sister, oh, sorry about that noise. Next, my sister made me this. It's for birds, and I don't know if it's supposed to be a bird house or a bird feeder, because a bird house really needs to have a clean out spot, and this doesn't. And it came with a bag of seed. So I'm going to hang it outside, maybe fill it with seed, and see if the birds like it or not. And then last, but definitely not least, what I'm about to show you may be my best Yule gift yet. It was a gift to both my wife and I. And here we have it. This is Godzilla eating gnomes. He's my favorite gnome. But it's this little kind of styrofoam bits on him. He's standing on a gnome, and he's got a gnome here who definitely looks like he is no longer with us, and that one has definitely been consumed. Now this makes me think it's like a baby Godzilla, because the proportions are just wrong. Because if these gnomes were proportioned to Godzilla, these gnomes would be 40 feet high, or 30 feet high. And so if Godzilla's been geared to the gnomes, then he's about 4 feet high. So the proportions are a little off, but he is adorable. And I don't know where I'm going to put him yet. My wife actually wants to put him outside, but if I put him outside, someone is going to steal him, because he's really cool. So I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet. But he is very, very cool, and I thank our friend Chris for thinking of it. It was an awesome idea. It makes me smile. I actually passed this idea on. I found it. This is a really cool thing, and then I never thought about it again. And then we opened the package, and there is one. How do you like that? So this has been my bargain video of the post-Yule Christmas season. I hope all of you had a happy holiday season, and will have a happy New Year.